think that how the population is set up is that we're getting into more and more of a gig economy where your skills are leveraged at an hourly base. In the sense of, look at what we are. We're content creators. Mm-hmm. Not because we want to be content creators, because more often than not, most people have to be content creators. Yeah. Right? And I think that's where the economy is going, like Upwork, Fiverr, stuff like that. Uber delivery, Talabat.
Yeah.
You know, it's only a question of when that driver is going to stop being expat or foreign and is going to be a Bahraini. It's only a question of when. It sooner or later, it will come.
It will come.
In our lifetime, it will happen.
Yeah.
Saying, it was one of the hardest years I remember, because I felt like I was back in school, because I felt like I was being yelled at every like moment. Like, he'd always used to yell, if you have time to lean, you have time to clean.
Okay.
So exactly.
Yeah.
So I remember, I think I didn't do the searing right with the steak, because he always used to use either ghee, because it has a higher boiling point or smoke point than butter. And so I remember using butter once, and it was a little burnt. And I remember him trying to throw the steak at my face.
And why is that?
Because this is how he grew up. I think in the cooking world, is just being yelled at, all that aggressiveness and that violence, you know. And it was always disaster. But I learned a lot from.
Actually, this type of person, I respect them more.
Really?
Really, because he have two personality. Like, the way he's acting and working, different than the way he's acting with you and social. I really respect them.
You say that now?
I know, he's aggressive, like he's using his aggressiveness, but I respect him.
Wallahi, تقول الحين زي كذا. If you were sitting with him,
because I will be more focused in details. When he's like teaching me or training me, I will be more focused.
كل مرة. Fuck you! Open your fucking eyes! What are you fucking doing? Every time. I remember I remember at one point I had enough, and I was like, who the fuck do you think you are? You think you're Gordon Ramsay? And he was like, I don't give a fucking shit about Gordon Ramsay. You're a piece of shit because you can't even fucking do this right.
Then I will pull my word.
And I'd remember every time, and I'd be like, fuck you. I'd go outside and have a cigarette. It would be like, where the fuck you think you're going? We're not fucking done yet. It was a nightmare. It was a nightmare, but it was a lot of fun. When you're in the UK, sometime I'll take you to him, and then you can tell me what you think of the experience.
Inshallah.
Oh my god! But I won't. But yeah, I do enjoy watching Gordon Ramsay. I hate his kitchen. I don't like his food, but his content is kitchen nightmares. It's I don't know. It's crazy. Do you like any other cooking shows?
Arabic, maybe.
Arabic, eh?
Arabic, maybe.
Okay.
Like when I watch a video.
Master Chef.
No.
لا.
Not in that mood. I need to watch Master Chef.
Dan, can you fix the mic? Sorry, but yeah.
That's okay. It's fine. I'm keeping like this.
It's okay.
So
we have to get headphones for our guests at some point. Yeah, but
so I like actually to watch a cook show that not يعني ما يتعدى اللي هو 6-9 minutes.
Oh, really? That's short? 6-9 minutes? That's it?
Yeah. I will get the idea.
Okay.
Then I will do my own things.
Okay. And where do you get your supplies from? Do you have a preferable supermarket?
Yeah.
Which one do you like?
الأسرة.
Al-Usra?
الأسرة. الجزيرة.
I
both of them يعني. This is my favorite
but
supermarket.
don't you feel like it's difficult finding good red meat?
Do you visit الأسرة?
Al-Usra has at least Al-Usra has from Ireland, and I think they had Wagyu at some places, but not every place. But every other supermarket, including Al Jazeera, it's
Which
Argentinian.
Which Al Jazeera you visit?
The one near Al Hassan. Yeah, that doesn't have like nothing.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
Do you cook a lot of lamb, or you're not big into lamb?
Not lamb.
وش ذا قاعد تقولي really cooking وما تعجبك lamb.
If you want me to cook for you a beef or lamb, I can do it for you.
Okay.
But don't tell me taste.
Oh,
really.
ما شاء الله. ولا كبسة؟
ولا كبسة. أطبخ لك إياها.
Okay.
بس لا.
What about fish? You a big fan of fish? You're not so much.
Big fan of fish.
Yeah? Do you go fishing as well? No.
No. I like Safi.
Hey.
You know Safi.
Hey.
This is my big. The first.
أكثر من همور؟
الهامور.
Okay.
Next. بعدين الشنعد عندنا.
إيه.
اللي هو الكينج فيش.
إيه.
والشاري.
So do you like also Western fishes, the salmon, the sea bass?
Salmon. White fish.
Then I know الحين الحمد لله وقفوا. I'll say this in English. I know that Bahrain now, the government has stopped selling hamur in order to keep the population, right? Because before it was just nightmare.
Correct.
And I think my dad said to me when he was younger, the hamur price bil kilo was dinar.
Which year?
This is 1970, 1980.
70, maybe, yeah.
Long back, right? And he was telling me it was by kilo dinar. It was يعني 10 ريال. He said it was nothing.
Correct.
He said now you're lucky بالكيلو بالسعودية around 70 ريال.
You have hamur in Saudi?
نفس البحر أو لا؟ You don't think السعودية البحرين وشو؟ كيلومتر؟
Yeah.
Where do you think the boats are going? In the mainland? No, they go
Exactly. Yeah.
بالسي عندنا.
بس يعني the best meat you can taste for fish in Bahrain.
Really? Better than Imarat?
Yeah.
How? It's the same ocean or لا?
Same, but I'm not sure. But يعني يقولون إن بحر البحرين مالح جدا.
إيه.
ويساهم في
ومين يقول ذا الكلام؟
الخبراء experts يعني not me.
Exactly.
مرة من المرات صديق الوالد من إيطاليا.
Okay.
في البحرين يشتغل في البحرين.
Okay.
مرة من المرات جاء له المكتب وقال له كان هو يشتغل بالبحرين طبعا وفي زيارة حق هلا في روما.
Okay.
يقول لي رحت ورجعت. هاي الصيفية اللي رحتها دخلت مطعم أنا وبنتي ويعني عائلته. يقول في المنيو حاطين بحرين لا حاطين
كاري حدسي واجد.
هامور فيش في البراكت بحرين. حدسي.
عندك صورة؟ لا
انا ما عندي بس يعني I believe him.
اوكي
زين I believe him بس قال لي
وليش روما عندهم هامور؟ ليش يجيبونه من برا؟ لا ما يصير.
ما عندهم هامور.
هذا قاعد يقول ليش why do يعني bring fish from outside freeze it كذا الخايف they can get salmon they can get sea bass. إيطاليا عنده بعد بحر يعني it's not like it's يعني
but he said it's very expensive يعني so the expensive dish in the menu.
كم
I'm not sure exactly.
Okay because هنا بعد غالي موت. I saw once hamur priced at two small pieces not even kilo بالمطعم.
24
37.
Okay.
Almost 40 BD for يعني this size. يعني وش ذا؟ So there's craziness بعد هنا. But what are you gonna do? So you also are a consultant as well.
Yeah.
What's that? Are you a consultant in finance, marketing,
management?
Management. Yeah. All right. How did you get into it?
I start with it 2019
Okay.
November.
Oh, you even know the month. You know the date.
Yeah, because I will tell you why. In November, within 2 months, suddenly there is COVID. What?
Hello.
So no business. The business is off. That's why I remember. I was consult with many SMEs.
Mm-hmm.
بس بعد الكوفيد خلاص يعني to be honest البزنس شوي صار slow
Okay.
وdown.
It's everywhere in the market. So do you find there's a difference between managing foreigners or managing locals? Or do you think it's the same kind of techniques you use in both?
No.
مختلف, huh?
مختلف جدا.
Okay. Can you tell me what, for our listeners here and there, what kind of like difference you can expect?
The foreigners, maybe they have more idea.
Okay.
And they think out of the box, and they are expert actually in their field.
Okay. That's very nice to say.
Really?
That's very nice.
Yeah. Local, sorry, but they are in limits.
Lazy.
They are lazy actually. But they are in limit to think.
ما يدفعوني تفكر يدفعوني حق اشتغل. I've heard this saying a lot.
يعني أنا من 2019 قابلت يعني many of SMEs who they have their own business or they want to start their own business. Both of them يشتغلون in government sectors.
حلو.
But what they are thinking
بابا ماما يدفعون.
بالضبط. مو بس دي يعني their idea to open a business, okay, just to generate cash, not to operate their business, just to generate cash. If إذا حصلوا problems in finance or مشكلة إدارية, يعني يلومون الامبلوي اللي وظفوه انه ما اشتغل عدل ولا ما جاب لنا فلوس ولا ذي.
ما يشوفون مشكلتهم بالحالهم, يشوفون مشكلهم من برا. They don't see the problems in themselves, they see the problems in other people.
بالضبط. واغلبهم اللي يجون, the first question in my mind, do you have a business plan? Most of them they don't have a business plan. يعني في ال 80s وال 90s البزنس بلان يعني أكثر شيء يركزون عليه من الكامبانيز, البيج كامبانيز.
اوكي.
مو بحق الاسميز.
اوكي.
بس يمكن نهاية التسعينات بداية يعني في 2000 بداية 2000 البزنس بلان اللي كان حق الكامبانيز ممكن سووا له نوع ريديزايننج,
simplified it to allow for smaller companies and
to fit
people.
the SMEs يعني to fit SMEs. بس ليومك ذي تشوف احنا في 2022 ما زالوا الناس ما يستخدمون البزنس بلان, وانا دائما اقول لهم دائما استخدموا البزنس بلان.
How can you, if you don't know your aims and your objectives, how can you even begin to figure out where you want to go?
Exactly.
But there's another bigger issue, not just bigger plan. I don't know if it's a bigger issue. I think it's maybe a little underneath it is this misconception that you'll be making profit within 6 months.
No.
I find this a lot with people who sit in your chair, by the way, because we get a lot of people who are entrepreneurs, business owners.
Maybe within 6 months you can operate perfectly your business.
Sure.
And you need a more 6 months to gain your even.
I agree with you 100%.
Okay, that's why most who's coming to me, I أقول لهم دايما أقول لهم always I'm saying to them, you should have business plan to run your business within either 3 years or 5 years or 10 years. ممكن أنت خلال 3 سنوات you will get your even.
Sure.
Maybe after 5 years, maybe after 10 years.
Sure.
لما يوني يقولون لي والله أنا مشتغل من 2 سنين اوكي والحمد لله ماشي ومشغل اموري. شنو هو الريفينيو؟ how much revenue? No revenue, just I'm operating my business.
ياخذون من their main job and they dump it into their business.
Exactly.
But they can tell their friends واصحابهم عندي
I
شركة.
have exactly. ويكشخون
إيه. وجه طبعا.
Exactly.
No, I agree with you. I think, you know, this is another key point that I find with a lot of people that sit in your chair is they don't care about profit. Which I know you look at it and you're like, what the hell is he saying?
Yeah.
But there's
No, it's okay. It's right.
I had people, literally, I've had multiple people who sat right where you're sitting, who said, listen, I'm not doing it in order to operate a profit. I'm doing it to build a community. And I said, that's great. That's fantastic. Except that you're taking your main work from Operation A and dumping your hard-earned money into Operation B just to be surrounded by people.
Yeah.
Then, you know, instead of doing this nightmare, invite people to dinner.
Exactly. It's the same way, but in, you know.
Exactly. Why have a headache, a worker schedule, paying rent, making sure everything's in stock? خلي ولي. If you're just doing it for spending time with the community, go do activities.
I think this type of people, their personality, like they are like, they want to be a boss. I think يعني أعتقد إنهم يعني أكثر إن يكونون متسلطين. يعني أغلبهم اللي أكلمهم أو اللي أتكلم معاهم أقول لهم شنو الفكرة إن أنت تبي تفتح بزنس؟
وليش السبب؟
لا شنو الفكرة يعني الحين لو واحد اللي قاعد
What's the idea why you want to start the business?
Yeah, exactly.
Because remember our audience type is sadly هذا شوف هذا شغلة ثانية I just want to say is that it's a real shame that in our culture in the GCC in the Middle East if we do a full episode بالعربي we're dead. There's not going to be any kind of feedback. الأسف. And I really want to get to a stage where we have another room there that we want to duplicate the studio and do one that's this side only in English and one in that side that's only in Arabic. But if I do that, these two guys are going to go on strike. You know, they're going to go they're going to run away. They can barely keep up with the workload at the moment. But yeah, so you were mentioning
so
you ask why the purpose of starting this business.
Yeah. What is the idea to start your business? Your own business? Most of them, they are thinking, I want just to own my business, to operate my own business. أقول لهم يعني instead of wasting your money to open a business, why you not invest your money in some company or shares? بس الأغلب يعني ما كان they not understand how to invest their money. If I ask them how much your investment, they said 5,000, 6,000 BT.
And what?
Why is that? Like for example, coffee shop, to open a coffee shop. Yeah, the same idea.
Sure. I agree.
Yeah. Why is 5,000, 6,000? You will rent. You will have a rent, recruitment, machines, others expenses. So no, my friend, my relative, they have their own coffee shop. So how much? They start with 6,000, 5,000. That's it. Then after, when I operate the business, there is income. I can continue. This is how they are thinking.
One of the biggest problems is people have been bamboozled by Western companies thinking they can operate like they operate on Wall Street, right? And that they don't have to worry about making profit for 20 years like Amazon because there's going to be enough investors
Exactly.
And there's like enough liquidity in the market who's willing to fund this idea. The problem is that you're not Jeff Bezos and your business is not Amazon.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? And you know, all due respect, Jeff Bezos worked in Wall Street. So he had all those connections to get all that funding.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right? You're opening a coffee shop and you don't even know coffee.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Most of clients or customers, when they are visiting your own business, they will visit because your logo is nice.
No. Really?
Really. Your logo is nice. The name of your shop is very good, attractive.
Starbucks.
Yeah. So when they test the quality, it's nothing.
But do you really think that consumers in coffee really care about quality? Because I feel like in the Middle East, they just care about sugar, sweetness.
No. Yeah. For us here
Yeah.
in Bahrain, they care about quality.
You think so?
Yeah.
You think it's quality because it's price association to it? It's a good question, isn't it?
No, not about the price.
I think if you sell a cup of coffee for 5 BD and it's sukri and it's sugary.
Last week, I want to... Excuse me.
Sure, go ahead.
Last week, I was out with my friends. Coffee shop. I'm asking what to order. The two of them, they say, I'm not sure about the beans. Brazilian, Ethiopian. Let's ask them. So he go to the counter and he said,
And where's the beads from?
yeah, from where? And sour or sweet. So I think now our consumers, especially here in Bahrain, they know exactly the quality of the beans.
Sure. But here's my counter argument. You buy Argentinian cheap coffee. They come, they say what kind of coffee it is. You go, what do you want? You want sweet? You want bitter? We want sweet coffee. It's Brazilian.
You know, if they have a sour beans taste, you know what they will do? Sugar. They will add more sugar. That's why you think the consumers, they like more sugar. But actually the beans
is bitter and it's cheap, right? And they burn it really hot in order so it tastes the same. They can keep it for a long term. Listen, I think there's a lot of truth what you're saying, but I think we'll also have to realize is that we sadly in our culture, especially in Saudi Arabia, we have an epidemic of obesity, including myself, and that's mostly because of the shit that is in the market, right?
Yeah.
Right.
But now I think Saudi is coming more better than before.
Absolutely. Alhamdulillah, ma MBS, it's
more,
cleaned up.
More,
it's cleaned up.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, here in Bahrain, we still have issues مع واسطة وبكشيش وخازي كذا. Hey. But in Saudi Arabia, they've really cleaned that whole thing up.
Exactly.
It still take time. It'll take time.
It will take time. Yeah.
As a consultant, I have this idea, and I wanted to get your feedback on it as well. So I have this I don't know, fantasy or notion. What I would like to do at some point, not maybe this year, maybe next year, just because we don't have the necessary staff and it'll be too much of a headache, is to do episodic episodes of 3 consultants sitting on one side of the table, like almost like what's the right word? Like Business Doctor or Shark Tank.
Okay.
We
Business talk. I believe business talk is better.
Yeah. And then you have like 3 episodes. You have like 3 people, like 3 consultants. One maybe in finance, one maybe in marketing, one maybe in operations, right?
Yeah.
And then we have businesses that apply to come on the show. We spend like
idea.
You like already the idea?
Yeah, I like the idea. Yeah.
And then you spend a week or maybe a month, like going through the whole process,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Of building it, looking at the finances,
Exactly.
the marketing, right? And because you're looking at maybe potentially smaller businesses, so they might not have the necessary sunk cost, the capital to hire 3 consultants.
Yeah.
But I think what would be the best way of doing it is they trade part of ownership. So they give up, for example, 30% of their business, and then each consultant then gets 10% because you're taking your own time to spend a month
exactly
with this business, right? And it's not feasible just to leave
without
it running.
a free consultant.
Yeah, for a month, no way. I mean, even if you say like, okay, you know, you make the money from the advertisements that you do from the streaming of the show and stuff like that, it's not worth your time.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a whole crew. You have to follow people.
Exactly.
Right? And I think I think there's a potential business model for that. And then after a month, you know, you do a flashback where you say like, hey, you know what? And it's like a 45-minute episode, like a proper TV show. Mm-hmm. And you do maybe like 12 episodes a year, right? Or 20 episodes a year, something like that. To do that, you'd have to have obviously every month and 2 or 3 at the same time. But yeah, I think there's potential for it. I think it'll be a lot of fun. You like the idea already, yeah?
I need a sit.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I don't know. So yeah, we can talk about it after the show if you want. Inshallah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean,
I like the idea.
I think, you know, life is too short to do things you don't like.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And there's nothing worse. What a lot of people, you know, put off what they want to do because they feel like they're not ready, or they don't have the skill set yet, or they feel like I'm going to do X thing now because it pays the bill, and then eventually I'll do Y thing. The only problem is you can very easily die while doing the X thing.
Yeah. Correct.
Right? If you're going to be unsuccessful at X, then you might as well be unsuccessful doing something that you want to do.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
So, yeah. And I think a lot of people have this notion, I think you know it better than I do, that they want to be business owners but don't understand the responsibility that comes with it.
Correct.
They don't understand payroll.
No.
They don't understand.
The big things that they do it, if they have any problems with their own business, as you say, they have their own the first job. يعني إذا عندهم مشكلة في I will speak in Arabic.
Sure.
Okay. بس إذا عندهم مشكلة في البزنس مالهم، وعندهم اللي هو السالاريز مال السالري مال government sector. Okay. What they will do? They will take a loan.
حلو.
Okay.
So you're already building yourself in debt. Okay. حلو.
So يعني أنت ما وصلت, you didn't reach to your even.
Sure.
Again, you will take a loan, bank loan, to operate your business from beginning, like from beginning.
Sure.
وبعد ما بتوصل حتى حق even.
I look at it like this, Habibi.
So he lose much of money.
Well, I mean, if he's taken it as a business loan, I don't know how incorporations work here in Bahrain, but if you take it as a business loan, you can always default on your loan as long as at least in the UK and the US, you can license yourself as an LTD, as a limited trade.
They do here.
And they do here. So if you default or go bankrupt, at least they don't take your personal assets.
Exactly.
Right?
They do here.
So at least there's some leverage on it.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
Only the clever people.
Yeah. Really? There's people who are taking personal loans for this stuff?
Yeah.
Ooh, boy. Really? Goodbye for that house. Goodbye to your car.
Everything.
Yeah.
But they can survive. I promise you, here in Bahrain and GCC, they can survive. This is the things. Maybe government, they try to help them.
One of the most interesting things.
But we are talking about companies, not SMEs.
Of course. Well, one of the most interesting things that happens with me being fortunate enough to sit in this side of the chair is I get to hear from ministers their opinions on how, you know, businesses are functioning, Temkeen, their ideas. And I also hear it as well from the other side of it, the flip side of that coin, of the startups, the entrepreneurs, the business owners. And it's amazing how both of them are saying the same language, but they're still miscommunicating. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's amazing.
So the good point you mentioned that Tamkeen, since they start, they try to support the SMEs, okay, in the beginning with cash. Okay, sorry to say that, but many of SMEs خذوها
حرامي.
we cannot say
Don't worry.
yeah
we can cut
cannot
it.
say حرامي but يعني خذوها بطريقة ثانية. يعني شلون استفيد من المبلغ؟ اوكي، شلون استفيد من المبلغ؟ يعني انا لما اي كشخص business owner I come to Tamkeen, okay, I request them like
Alone.
or just support. They will ask me to provide a quotation for the machines or for the machines or sometimes for
Staff.
stuff. So when I brought a quotation to Tamkeen, okay, I can manipulate with this quotation.
Double invoicing.
Not double invoicing.
Oh, you mean cooking the books?
I will say to this business, create for me new quotation, okay, increase the price. If it is 1,000, just make it 2,000. I will give you 30%, 10%, okay, but continue processing this quotation with Tamkeen.
Even worse is when you process that with Tamkeen and you buy the equipment and then you resell it for a profit.
Many of business they do it.
That's a double insult to injury. You know what I'm saying? That's whoo.
Currently, Tamkeen, they change their programs to support SMEs with advertisements or and stuff, but not like to give you a loan or to give you cash or to buy for you machines.
Good. They need to clean that shit
They
up.
change, yeah. But they focus more also with entrepreneurs and their employees, Bahraini employees especially, on training. To train them on finance, to train them on HR, etc.
True. But there's a small issue, which I think this is where the miscommunication comes into it. Because I know a lot of people who would like requesting training, but Tamkeen only offers the training based on your position. So if you're a HR manager, the only courses you can get are in HR. This is what happened to people who sit in this chair.
Yeah.
Telling me these issues. If it's incorrect, then I need to inform them. I don't know this personally, by the way.
Tamkeen, they announce for their new programs, but not the fall programs.
Okay.
Like every month they announce for a new program
Sure.
every month. So I think they support the employee not on their position. Also, I mean not only for management or for operations managers وال HR حتى only also for others employees. يعني في سواء كان في الانجينيرز engineering IT الفاينانس يعني they support many positions.
لا I think we're miscommunicating حبيبي. What I was saying is that if you're for example an engineer,
yeah,
the courses that are available to you that you can take with Tamkeen are around engineering. You can't get a course in marketing. You can't get a course in finance.
This is I don't know exactly, but
this is what people are saying.
Okay.
I can't verify this because I didn't go through this process.
I think their programs and the training programs are limits for some positions.
This is what because
I think so. Yeah.
Because I know a lot of people were complaining to me saying like, listen, I wish I could do both the finance and the marketing, but I don't have finance experience, and I wish Tamkeen could offer me to take classes. And at the same time, I'm like, you know, you're lazy. There's plenty of programs online for free.
YouTube,
So
free.
Exactly. يعني don't say, oh, I wish Tamkeen, you know, Tamkeen مش الله بعد يعني.
Yeah.
Get real here a little bit. But it's an issue. And it's, I don't know, the issue here with businesses. I don't know.
تمكين انا ما عندي معاهم يعني انا many times I tweet against تمكين programs.
I'm sure they love you.
I don't see any reaction from them, but يعني but
You've already been blocked.
no, they are not. دائما أتكلم, always I'm saying that تمكين they should change their program not to focus on SMEs, to focus in companies, big companies, especially in field of القطاع الصناعي.
Oh, industrial
so
field. secondary industries.
Yeah,
manufacturing, stuff like that. No, I agree, but you know, the way Bahrain is structured, it has to compete with Saudi Arabia, and it has to compete with the UAE, right? This is reality of life. It has to compete on the world stage.
Never, they will not.
Okay, but I mean, we can focus on what can Bahrain compete on. It cannot compete on tourism with Dubai. It can't.
But they try.
Fine, they can try, and there's nothing خطأ من تحاول, right?
Exactly.
They can try to compete with Saudi with finance. Again, to me, no. What I think is the best position for Bahrain to focus on is to become the crown jewel of medical industries. We have a lot of hospitals already in Bahrain.
Saudi also
they have as well. But let Saudi worry about finance. Let UAE worry about tourism, and just focus your energy on three things. I think one, you have 3 times as much real estate as population. So instead of trying to get the youth to come in, contact people who are in retirement. People who are stuck in Germany, UK, Spain, who want to leave but have a little cash, have a little money in their savings, right?
Yeah.
Let them come here and go in retirement. Nice homes, beach, water. Added effect, you have the medical industry, which would what? You have all these older people, right? That supports that, and that creates that funnel. Thirdly, educational. And then these I think is the pillar, the 3 things they can.
I think Bahrain they try because they have, like they are not perfect, good medical, education. Okay, أشوف إحنا الجامعات حتى الجامعات الخارجية موجودة في البحرين.
Absolutely.
French, the
Asian school,
Asian, Canada, from Canada.
Absolutely. British school as well. They have another one somewhere here. Yeah,
they have. Why I'm focusing on
industrial
field. في الاندستريال أنت ممكن you can produce and
export. True. No disagreement. But in order to make any kind of manufacturing here locally, first you need a skilled talent, which I mean that's its own thing, right?
Yeah.
And number 2, for a good industry, you have to have low wages. So
why you need low wages?
Well, if you're gonna try to attract Toyota to come and do a plant here in Bahrain, they're not gonna do it if it's like 400 BD.
If you invest more, okay,
sure,
and you provide a good machines,
sure.
Why you need
stuff? But then, what's the point of attracting Toyota here to manufacture if they're not hiring? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but
the reason why we give companies like Apple and Google and stuff like that free passes on taxes in the Western countries is because they employ a lot of people, right? Amazon, in fact, employs so many people. And I'm going to talk a little bit out of my ass at this point, but I think it's accurate. By the year 2026, they will have employed every available American in the employment pool that they have both hired and fired. But that's how big Amazon. Can you imagine 300 million people? Amazon is so large that they will have cycled through the entire available workforce in the US. I like how you're just nodding your head. That's not mind-blowing to you to think about? The entire labor force that is available to them by the time it's 2026, so in what, 4 years, everyone that could have been hired in Amazon has been hired. And everyone who hasn't has been fired. It's amazing. It's amazing. It's amazing to think. I mean, that you stop being I mean, at that point, you're not a company anymore. You're a country, right? I mean,
Correct.
That's insane. And anyway, so to get back on what you're saying with Bahrain, secondary sectors or industries or whatever is important in an economy, right? I mean, Keynesian economics usually dictates, and I'm talking to my ass again because it could be Keynesian, it could be that other dude. They said that an economy has to be split between primary, secondary, and tertiary. Tertiary obviously being service-based, banking, medical, all that kind of stuff. Primary being, farmers, mines, blah, blah, blah. And secondary being the actual component, manufacturing. I see what you're saying. Bahrain has some primary, which is, the natural gas, and a little bit of oil, but not really a lot. That isn't really here or there. That's it. I mean, they usually the gas use is mostly for Alba, basically, right? Secondary, you basically have Alba, and that's it. You have a few others.
Chemicals, industrial.
Yeah. But that's, I mean, you've got some. I don't know what the right word is. It's not daughter companies, but you have some offshoots. Complementary companies around Alba that turn aluminium into like car rims. They're right next to the. I work, by the way, at Alba, so right next to it. It's correct. It's right next to them. That's really it, right?
That's why I'm always saying better to focus more on industrial field. Okay, not to attract investors, to create a new product.
Sure.
Bahraini made.
Sure.
And to export this product.
I love what you're saying right there, because this is one of the fascinating things I hear from every. This. I don't know. It blows my mind. Sorry.
That's okay.
The amount of people I've had on the show who said to me, "My biggest regret is saying Bahraini made." Blows my mind. They all have either shell corporations that are either in the US or Belgium or whatever. I've had people here whose company was listed or valuated at $50 million. And then after they market it saying made in Bahrain, the valuation went from 50 to 10. So it sucks. It really sucks. It really, really sucks.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the solution for that is.
I think the support. Really support.
I think it's the problem is that we don't have a breakaway product.
See, if you tell me anything about what is any product made in Bahrain.
There's a chocolate company called Maya Chocolate.
Yeah.
Then there is a guy who makes CRM.
Maya, they're not producing chocolate.
They manufacture chocolate here in Bahrain.
Yeah, Maya. Okay.
I promise you, they bring in the beads from outside because you can't. Yeah, the farm is not possible.
Yeah.
But they bring in the beads. They actually cook the entire process locally. They produce something like their maximum capacity is something like 300 tons, but their general production is about 30 tons per month, I think, but I might be wrong. Then there is another company from Mohammed Ashur. He has a app business who manufactures apps and stuff like that. He's the one who was responsible, if I'm not mistaken, for do you remember the COVID app? I think it was his company that designed it. Was it or not? No? Okay, then I misspoke. Sorry. But he does have a company. Do you remember what the company's called then who for the schools? Spring what? Spring ring. Well, there you go. But it's also an unfair question because I interview a lot of people who are business owners.
No, because if you ask me the same question,
Sure.
all the things made in Bahrain is all foods.
Interesting. Okay.
Foods. Keep the oil, keep the gas, keep aluminium, but foods. So we can do manufacture
Mm-hmm.
parts. We can export parts. Why not? عشان كذا أنا أقول دائما تمكين they should change their programs to support industrial field. Even small parts, synchro. Why not?
But I think what the worry is for Tamkeen's perspective is they look at it from a perspective of the population, right? And I think that how the population is set up is that we're getting into more and more of a gig economy where your sales are leveraged at an hourly base. In the sense of look at what we are. We're content creators.
Mm-hmm.
Not because we want to be content creators, because more often than not, most people have to be content creators.
Yeah.
Right? And I think that's where the economy is going. Like Upwork, Fiverr, stuff like that. Uber delivery, Talabat.
Yeah.
You know, it's only a question of when that driver is going to stop being expat or foreign and is going to be a Bahraini. It's only a question of when. It sooner or later it will come.
It will come.
In our lifetime, it will happen.
يعني
People don't want to work those jobs. عليك صح. ما تبغى تقولها.
Yeah, I cannot explain more. البحريني ممكن يشتغل. Bahraini people, they can work.
But do they want to work those jobs?
Yeah.
I agree with you, but sooner or later, it'll have to happen. طالع المطار. Who would have, if you would have gone back even 5 years ago and you would have said the airport is going to be only staff 95% except for the cleaners, Bahraini? What are you? What are you saying?
Yeah.
What are you saying? But now you look around and from the gate to security, everything.
They do it.
Right?
Yeah.
And I think even Tamkeen now has made some changes. I think it's a good idea with the staff to put first year 75% of the salary, second year 50% of salary.
Support
For Bahraini, of
for
course.
Bahraini, of course, yeah.
I think this is a fantastic idea.
Yeah.
Then
Especially with this pandemic.
absolutely,
They start with it, yeah.
it creates its own problems, of course, because you end up with businesses that end up with a 3-year cycle. In the sense of they will hire a Bahraini for 3 years, and then after the 3 years, kick
And
them out
They would pay the payroll for it within 3 years.
for the 3 years with the
And-
Tamkeen support.
Yeah.
And then after the 3 years, when Tamkeen support stops, they're out. And then they hire a new graduate. I know businesses that operate like that in Bahrain.
They do like this, but I think Tamkeen, they should follow up with the business owner.
Why you fired them,
Fired, or he should continue with him.
or stop the process if they do
the
it
best
too often.
things is to have a contract
Mm.
between Tamkeen and business owner.
Mm.
If he's requesting to support his employee, Bahraini employee with the payroll within 3 months, I think Tamkeen, they should do an agreement with him to sign after three years, either to pay back if he want to fire him, to pay back to Tamkeen, or to support at least after 3 months.
That's not a bad idea.
3 years.
I like that idea. I like that idea a lot. I think that either after 3 years, if you fire them, you have to do an agreement where you say, okay, you have to pay us back X amount, right?
Yeah.
Over a period of time, because situations change. You might have an employee, he was good for the first 3 years. You see a bad, so you don't want to put
Exactly.
a stamp on every
Yeah.
company. But yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you.
في النهاية at the end من المتضرر؟
employee.
الموظف
Hey.
الموظف هو المتضرر يعني.
An employee. I'm with you.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I think there's definitely that. I'd like to see that changed. I like the with the Temkeen that they offered to pay rent if you have more than I think 15 or 12% of your staff being Bahraini. It's something like that.
Stamkeen, they will ask you actually for many documents, especially
Good.
how you operate your business within, I think, 3 years or 6 months.
Good. I'm not against that.
They will request you many of documents actually, especially with business plan. If you don't have all these things, they will not support you.
The cream rises to the top. I don't have a problem with that, right?
Yeah.
You want,
So I think the good idea. They do it.
or maybe what could be another good idea is if you let's say take students from high school, right, who don't want to go to university because of whatever reason, maybe because of grades, maybe because of not enough cash, maybe because they need to support their family, but they want to be entrepreneurs, they want to do something. Maybe Temkeen should do, for like between, I don't know, 15 or 16 to 25 special entrepreneur courses where they get literal business owners and say, hey, you know what, you're going to take this kid for twice a week, 3 times a week, and you're going to show them how your business works. And in return, your business then gets whatever. What do you think?
No.
You don't like that idea?
No.
Go on. What do you like? What do you don't like about it?
If Temkeen do it,
Mm-hmm.
I think all of students
You think we'll leave?
leave.
You think so?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think a girl or a guy who's trying to become a doctor is not good.
Yeah, because if you say that, or Temkeen, they do it exactly. So the student, he will say, I will go to Temkeen to be an entrepreneur within a year, وبروح الجامعة
طولني
For-
3
for-
سنوات أو 4 سنوات.
yeah
4 years in university.
a short time.
Sure.
يعني I think it's no, he need to go to college.
I agree with you. I mean, I think, this is the interesting part about living in the Middle East. We're not the first when it comes to segmented changes, like really dynamic changes, but we get to see the wave. I see a big wave right now coming from the West, and it's about content creation, like we just talked about, and for blue collar jobs. A UK right now, a plumber earns more than a man who works in an office, earns more than an accountant.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And the welders, حتى بالسعودية, a welder makes lots of money,
Correct.
right? And if he works at the offshore oil, the I forgot what those things are called.
Correct. Yeah, I get you.
They make sometimes more than 100,000 dinar a year. A year for a welder. That's amazing money,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And they work 4 weeks on, 6 weeks off.
But in this pandemic, we know that how the doctors is important.
Oh, sure. I agree with
Everything is a flap,
you. Sure.
but when it comes in a serious,
Sure. But what,
coming back.
if you look at university, right, and you think about how much of that percentage is medical, and how much of it is okay, medical engineering. Let's put those to the sides, right? And how much of the rest is
Nothing.
right? I mean, we have too many people who know marketing. We have too many people who know finance. We have too many people who know management. We have too many people who want to be entrepreneurs. There's more than enough surplus in that market, right?
Yeah.
And I think that blue collar jobs, and that's why it's going so high in the US. I mean, an electrician who does the wiring in your house makes 120,000 pounds. That's 60,000 BD.
Correct.
And a guy who went to university and is working as accountant is making 25.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think the same thing is going to happen here in Bahrain. Not in the short term, give it 5 to 10 years.
No, I think it's موجود.
Look at low skill labor الحين. I mean, it's not fair to call an electrician or plumber low skilled first of all, but it is what it is. That's حياة. But right now, Pakistani, Indian, Bangladeshi population are slowly disappearing. And what are you finding? More and more African coming in. صح ولا؟
Correct.
ليش? Because Indian workers are becoming more expensive. And middle class in India is rising.
Yeah.
Right?
Correct.
And then what happens when Africa middle class rising? Where do you get then the labor force? وين تروح تنق عليه؟
You cannot find.
Exactly.
بس to surprise you, the technician or electrician actually, they don't have either, you know, ما عندهم حتى شهايد الجامعية شهادة الثانوية ما عندهم.
إيه فاهم عليك.
Surprised me really, but you know how to do wiring.
But ليش why instead of we don't do courses like they do in the rest of the world where you go to high school and if your grades aren't good and you're not getting into Jam'ah, then buddy you're going to a trade school. You're learning how to be an electrician, you're learning how to be a plumber, you're learning to be whatever.
احنا هنا في البحرين موجود عندنا we have here in البحرين اللي هو في معهد البحرين.
Yes.
بس
it's looked down upon.
Exactly. So when you graduate from the secondary school, you have either to go to college or Bahrain institution.
Yeah.
But at the end, it's the student choice.
I agree. I agree. But I think if you look at the West, anything that happens usually in the West, we see it sweep the world eventually, right? Mm-hmm. Be it technology, iPhones, internet, streaming, whatever. And right now we're seeing more in universities, women going to universities than men. We're seeing more men doing trade schools because there's quicker money in it.
Yeah.
Right? We have enough psychologists. We have enough doctors. We have enough everything else, right? And I think that's the same work we're going to find eventually in the Middle East. And that you're going to find people, especially when Hukuma steps up, and they will eventually say to all these building companies, if you want to employ, they عندهم شهادة.
Yeah.
ما عندهم شهادة. If they don't have a degree, they don't have qualification, ما نبغى. And if the government doesn't do it, it will be the insurance companies. Because they'll say, we won't insure your building unless they have degrees. It'll be one of the two, and it'll come.
Huh? So I believe خلاص يعني the way the companies or حتى the government to recruit, it's changed.
Absolutely.
It's changed.
Absolutely.
تكلمت مرة من المرات بخصوص التوظيف recruitment وقلت في كذا مرة قلت الفكرة أو ال HR department to recruit a new employee, the first question is how many years you work in this position. They will not ask what is your qualification, your education. They will not ask. بس
عندك حق وبالثمانينات you're right, but in the 70s and 80s there was this dream that it was حتى بالسعودية back in the day, your golden watch. You work 25 years for the company, you're a good employee, you get that golden watch, you get a nice home, you've got the retirement, you're covered, everything is good. Now every 3 years if you don't have a promotion, you're out, you're moving companies. And some staff I have even witnessed, like from people I know in my friends group and stuff like that, if they don't get a promotion in 1 year or pay rise that is substantial, more than inflation, so 5 to 10%, preferably more closer to 8, they're gone. They're gone. You're saying this company doesn't value me.
Mm-hmm.
And this is really, really, really aggressive.
But يعني هل Saudi government they accept that?
This is in the Western world. this is not to do anything مع حكومة مع government or this is just how the Western world when it comes to how businesses function in the enterprise sector.
You're talking about with the West.
In the West.
Okay.
So enterprise sector stuff like that. If I know a guy who I can give you a great example. He works for American Express, and he's a perfect example. He said every year if I don't get that promotion or I get that pay rise, I'm going to the different bank. Guaranteed. Done. It's and he's that's how confident he is when he goes to his yearly review.
Interesting. Really interesting. Yeah.
Fascinating, huh?
Yeah.
Because he says if I'm going this job and I'm working my ass off and I know I do a good job, right? That kind of ego.
We cannot do it here.
It's a different world. It's a very different world, and it's so competitive.
يعني our people here in Bahrain, especially in Bahrain, they're afraid. They cannot do it.
It's the يعني شوف بالعربي we have this term, right? ما عندي دم بالوجه.
Hey.
The UK, especially in London, that they don't know that term. خلاص. If they have a problem, and let's say if you're an employee and your supervisor, you're saying X and your supervisor is saying Y, they will go above your supervisor. They will go above your supervisor directly up and says, listen here, this is my idea. I think it has potential. I think it has business, blah, 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 blah. Why is this guy my supervisor if he can't even see that potential? To that درجة. يعني how do you maintain that relationship?
Yeah. They can do it, yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
And the supervisor or manager, and it happens at every level, they have to have enough confidence and be like, listen, I've talked to him and I see the merits of the idea, but it's not within company alignment or whatever else. And they have this is not stuff you see here.
Confidence. Should be a confident person عشان تاخذ this decision.
It's a different world. I'm telling you, it's a really different world. So what kind of other businesses are you currently consulting with?
Especially on
SMEs?
SMEs with retails يعني with retails.
Okay.
Coffee shops.
ما تعب من coffee shops.
Too much. يعني وايد في كل مكان تروح كلها coffee shop.
How much coffee can you drink in a day? يعني 3 cups, right? 4 cups? 4 cups خلاص.
As a يعني الماكسيمم 4.
Exactly. يعني okay, that's enough guys. Change.
وخلاص أنا صرت تشبعت من الكوفي. قمت خلاص يعني 3 in 1 Nescafe is enough for me.
Here's my problem with it, right? I like black Americano, but I don't like black Americano so much that I'm willing to go out of my way to get it.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to pay money to have it delivered if I can just get a machine with capsules. وخلاص.
I do it.
So I don't understand it.
ارتحت.
I don't understand it. But there's in Saudi, I mean, I haven't witnessed it because I'm not interested in going. They have coffee shops that are, in hundreds of BDs for coffee. Like really upmarket, high end. I don't know what you can offer me that I would be willing to pay 100 BD for a coffee. But he was telling me that there's plenty of those shops. It's more like shiki-miki.
Golden mug?
مش golden mug. I think شاحني ابوي حاجة تشوف. يعني I'm sitting here because I can afford it and so everyone else can see. يعني that's why he said that's why these places exist.
Yeah.
How many of those kind of shops can exist? 1, 2, maybe. How long can they really stay in business? 3 weeks, a month,
less,
maybe even less.
yes.
Because because people like that level, they always want يعني شيء مختلف.
يعني it could be in Dubai.
You think so?
Yeah, because I like luxury life.
Oh, from the tourism sector, like the guy with the salt. Hey, فاهم عليك.
With the burger with little.
Hey, and the gold. I agree, but you need the kind of tourism and the exuberance to be able to keep that afloat. Fascinating. Fascinating. So are you, now that you've gotten to consulting, what did you do before consulting?
I work in a family business.
Astaghfirullah. Allah ساعدك. Not easy, huh?
Not easy. With my father.
Allah ساعدك.
Yeah.
A lot of tension, huh?
A lot of tension. What lead me to consultant SMEs? Because I work more than 10 years with him.
Allah, ya Allah ساعدك. ما شاء الله عليك.
Since 2009.
ما شاء الله عليك.
I know the idea. I know how to small shop to
bigger shop.
Not big, let's say medium enterprise.
Sure.
I know the idea. So
let's also be real between us, right? You can't in Bahrain. There's no way to go from medium to big. Once you're medium,
no.
You
big,
get cut.
Big, if you say it, LTD.
Okay.
Or to take my company to stack. To pay.
Habibi.
Dubai.
Dubai, Saudi, if you move out, absolutely.
Bahrain, لا.
ما يصير.
No.
ما يصير. By the way, I have stories that for to the end of the world, you know, I had one of my, I mean, he wasn't my competitor. So I have a textile company as well. That's a long story, but we'll get into it in a second. And one of my, it's not a competitor because he was just so much bigger than me. You know, he was like a Goliath, and you know, I'm a small shop. You know, I've got 10 employees. He's got like 100. That's not. We're not in the same industry at that point or sector. So we're talking to him, and you know, I was getting his advice, and I was like, listen, this and this and this and this and this and this. And one time he called me and he says, you know, I'm going for coffee, blah, 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 blah. And I said, okay, I'll come with you for coffee, get coffee. He said, I'm leaving. I'm like, وش صار? He said, I'll tell you later. And then he just packed up all his machines and hash, ran away. And I messaged him and I said, you know, what happened? Why? What he had contract, by the way, with Zara. And with JCPenney, because the US to Bahrain has a unilateral trade agreement for import-export.
Yeah.
So I said, what happened? قال جاني واحد دق على الباب وقال أبغى 10%. وقلت وش 10%؟ قال 10% net, not profit, gross. And I said, mean? He said, don't worry about who. قال either I pay 10% or يطفون القهابة. And I go to him, خلاص, I'll pay. And the same time, he just ran away. So this kind of stuff happens. And that's why you never go from medium to large.
Yeah. It's happened. وبعدين, if you want to go large, you should commit to the government to submit many documents. Like in basis of 3 months. Every 3 months, you should submit documents. The meetings, your COs, كل شيء belong to the company. You should submit to the government.
And I think you should also you should go and make sure you become very good friends with ministers and have coffees and stuff like that.
You should.
I think that is more important than submitting documents by a large scale. Friends help friends, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's what business is in the end of the day.
بس يعني medium enterprise, they are more success than companies.
I mean, it's difficult to say. We had a guy, I forgot his name. Do you remember who was in charge with the now was it Kanu or Al Muayyid with the cybersecurity? Was it Jamil? It was Kanu, right?
Kanu. Yeah,
so they started a sub company under Kanu for cybersecurity, industry, business, and he was telling me, حتى إحنا كانوا حتى عندنا فلوس. There's no market demand in Bahrain because from his perspective there wasn't the necessary repercussions and laws in place for data breaches and stuff like that. So he said, we have our headquarters here in Bahrain, But our main operations in Saudi.
New market in Saudi.
نفس الشيء مع OSN, by the way. Their headquarters are here in Bahrain.
Office here. They have office here in Bahrain.
Yeah. But they don't operate really here.
Yeah.
Yeah. It sucks.
It's very important to open office here in Bahrain.
I agree.
It's very important, even if it's not operating.
I agree. الوجه المبشر.
Why? I don't know.
الوجه. It's that.
Exactly.
It's that. So, how did you find it with working with your dad?
Very interesting. I learned.
What a polite way of putting it.
I learned more. Okay. He showed me how to be a passion. I learned more. Really. I learned more. توقع يعني أنا when I was 17, how many summers I am in the office.
الله يسعدك.
And on that يعني اليوم today I say what he do to me or what يعني اليوم أقول هو خلاني في المكتب معه نص قرتي اوكي من سنة 17
Sure.
was a good decision.
You say that now.
Yeah.
But I think if you would have spent 17, 18 going out, showing time with your friends, شغال كذا, you'd be... لأن شوف, you're only young once.
I would be disappointed.
I think, and listen, I think you're only young once, huh? You're always 30, 40, 50 for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Right? But you're only 17, 18, full of energy.
Correct.
You're waking up without back pain.
Exactly.
You know? But that's how life is. It sucks.
Yeah.
Youth is used to... How's that saying go? Youth is wasted on the young. You know?
No.
But the saying, it means youth is wasted on the young. Meaning, wouldn't it be nice if you had all that energy, like you were 17 when you were 50?
How to say it?
That's the saying. It means youth is wasted on the young. يعني when انت 50 كان عندك القوة زي كان بال17.
Okay.
لأن عندك كل شيء عندك بالجسم بال17. المشكلة ما تعرف تستخدمه. You don't know the value.
صح.
You know?
Exactly. Correct.
هذا المشكلة. It's like if you've never felt hungry يعني ما عندك يعني شبع جعان, then food ما عنده طعم.
صحيح.
But when you really يعني عارف تفتح الفريج أو ما عندك شيء second day third day then يعني تفهم.
Especially to be a controller in your family business.
ما أنت عندك يد بالخاء you don't have a يد.
Yeah. I had this experience with one employee in 2008. The same way. I see there's many of invoices different than the numbers on the quotations. The quotations, they mention thousands of PD. Invoices, like 400. Hundreds. Okay. Maybe they change their choice. They take
larger number or whatever, or mistake, whatever.
Then in the end, when you're doing closing, the same person who's doing cashier, the same person who's doing the closing, the same person who's doing the deposit slip, the same person who take the cash to the bank. What? My father. What? He said, yes, it's a long time he's doing that. We have accountant. No, we'll keep him for accountant. We cannot take him out to deposit the money. Okay. Day by day, I stand beside him, follow up what he's doing, from printing invoices to do closing every night. Morning he's doing the deposit slip and he's counting the cash. The cash is speechless. Why is that? I suspect. I tell from my father, the money he's doing different than the closing. Do you know that? No, I don't know. Why is that? He's depositing. I trust him.
I know exactly your feeling, Habibi. I know it. I know how you're feeling.
Okay then, no problem. So after 2 months, I keep saying that to my father. You know, when you are saying every day to him, he's feeling maybe Ali is right. Okay. We will do some
Investigation.
some things. Yeah, investigation or action. We will see. Finally, he find that he's doing commissions with his friends, and he can withdraw cash without asking, using for his personal, because nobody is following the closing.
Absolutely.
Okay? And it was a very old system. You know, if you remember, I don't know what exactly it is. The system called when you open your BC,
Yeah.
the blue, only blue.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Old.
It's called the docs system. I know
from 90s.
Yeah.
It's from 90s.
Yeah.
It was operating.
Yeah.
Now we change. Everything's controlled.
The first 3 months I was there, same story like you. I introduced ticket system, meaning that every meter that is used, there's a ticket allocation to it.
Mm-hmm.
Every cutter that cuts it, ticker. Every tailor that tailors it, done. And then that number gets printed in the back of the label. So if there's a problem with that unit, I know exactly who the cutter was, who the tailor was, and from which supply batch it was.
Nice system.
The whole shebang. What I discovered was that the same lady that after when I fired her after, I think it was after 4 months or 3.5 months, something like that, kept a whole batch of these numbers. Because تعرف التاilors upstairs ما يكلمون إنجليزي ما يكلمون عربي ما يقرؤون. They don't read, they don't write. They just know this thing. This means I get paid.
Yeah.
Right? Because I said, listen, you get paid by not just by the hour, you get paid by the unit.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right? You've got your fixed pay. But, Habibi, if you don't manage to make that minimum unit, forget your fixed pay. I'm deducting it.
Mm-hmm.
Go complain to whoever you want.
Mm-hmm.
Right? طبعا واجد صيح وشغال. Good. If you don't like it, find a different job. Right? And after a while, they were very happy with the ticket system because if they do more than their base requirement, إنهم أكثر بتجيبهم.
Exactly. Yeah.
But yeah, so I was amazed. I was amazed because we're supposed to, every one of those tickets was supposed to be with me when I pick it up. So she was still figuring out ways.
La, it's a nice system to be more control on your production and your employees. Yeah.
Can I tell you about Habibi?
Actually, if you like the business, how to manage your employees, you will be as successful.
I agree. I mean, this is one of the reasons why I started this whole podcast in the beginning, was because I was so sick and tired of al-wasakh, of purchasing managers.
Okay.
والسكرتاري because عندي أكلم عربي عندي اسم عربي سعودي, so I would get meetings with CEO وشغال زي كذا طبعا. Very confused on why I'm running a factory, but whatever. And the secretary would cock block me. You know, I would say like, I'm showing up. I have a meeting at 4 o'clock or 3 o'clock with, you know, whoever secretary says he's busy. I said, how is he busy? He's texting me on WhatsApp. Right? He's like, he's currently in a phone call in a meeting. Go back. And I said, what are you talking about? She said, come. If the purchasing manager doesn't approve it, he doesn't get his cut. Therefore, I don't get my cut. So you're not going to get this contract. And even if the CEO says yes, I'll make sure that the purchasing manager makes problems with it. Good, okay. I left it, and then I was like, وصل الدرجة حتى البي دي اف by the way, I'm happy to say this, the procurement department wanted 100, no, it was 300 BD just to be a potential supplier.
Okay.
But هنا الحلو cash.
Yeah.
ما يطلبون بطاقة. And I went to them, I said, okay, no problem, I'll give you cash. To be listed as one of your suppliers بالحكومة. يقولون, oh, you need the money because we have to do a security test, blah, 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 blah. Okay, can I get a receipt? He said, no problem. خذ ورقة, حط stamp of the date, and he said, here's your receipt. خذوا anyone you want. Yeah. So anyway, so I was sick and tired of that business, and then I realized if I do a podcast, I can invite the people that I want to do business with, right? This is how it started. Because these kind of guys always want to like talk about themselves, their career, whatever. And we would talk 2-3 hours. I'd walk into the car and I'd say, شوف حبيبي, أكثر من سنة قاعد أحاول أسوي ديل مع شركاتك. أنت تعرف وين أنا عايش. أنت تعرف وين الأوفيس حقي. We make a better product, we're cheaper. أنت عندك أي مشكلة تقدر تجي وتنقع على my door. You can come and knock.
Yeah.
يعني ما أقدر أخبئ منك.
صح.
And so before he even his ass is in the car, we would have signed a contract. And that's
why is that? The company policy maybe?
مش من company policy. It's not that when they say, you know, we want to have 3 different
potential
شغلة.
Yeah.
This is bullshit from the purchasing department because he has a cousin. 100%.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And by the way, when you're talking about textiles in Bahrain, there are so many who have, you know, fake shop front. Just a cardboard shop. But they don't do any manufacturing. They actually do manufacturing in Pakistan.
Yeah.
They do measurements here and then they import it, which actually is not legal in Bahrain. Because there was a famous guy who came here to do high quality suits. And he would rent out a suite in the Ritz. And he would go and make good money. We would sell the suit for around 5,000, 3,000 BD. طبعا اشتكوا الشركات عليه. قال كيف يجي هنا يسوي business ما عنده CR ما عنده شغلة. And they immediately told him next time he was coming into the country, show me your luggage. You're bringing suits حق مين? You have business? We have CR? لا, get out. بس طبعا ما تقدر تسوي هنا نفس الشغلة because there's so many.
Yeah. Here so many. Really.
So, you know, if the Hukuma would be doing that, that would be all they would be doing.
Yeah.
Is shutting that shit down.
Exactly. أعتقد في دبي لا, because Dubai is open market.
حلو.
Very open market. Sorry to say that, بس عندهم سوق السوداء.
إيه.
أكثر.
إيه. You think so? Really?
Yeah.
مع الهنود يعني مع جماعهم أو بعد مع الإماراتيين؟
الأفريقاني. Yeah, Africans more.
بس يعني تقول السوق الأسود تقول يعني مخدرات وشغال زي
لا
كذا
يعني
أو
يقصد في
البزنس باك اند. اي معك حق 100%.
لا هني البحرين يعني حتى في السعودية أعتقد as you said because they are trying to clean the market. حتى في البحرين هني القوانين الموجودة اللو
ايه صح عندك حق. بس لا تنسى بعد شوف بالامريكا جابعوه داخل بال 1700s كل لا مش 700 1800 1700s كل العبد وخربوا الدنيا الحين بالامريكا. وراح يخرب الدنيا باليو اي. we're reliving it and we're going to relive it in Bahrain as well. لان هم علاقه الناس زي مع بعض كلهم زي كذا. صحيح. اي ما تقدر you're not going to be able to break it.
شوف حتى China Town التنين the first in beginning all of them like Chinese.
ايه.
No. No one.
Exactly. Because the Chinese are hiring them to build a shop.